that I keep doing about saying that I'm going to do what's next is from Parks and Rec, not The Office. Well, that's new information, isn't it? Just going to throw out something for people to ponder because that's what we do here. And it's something that I've talked about before, but I just keep finding it so more and more and more important. And it's about listening. So first of all, if there's something you don't understand and you want to understand it, at least in my experience, the best way to understand something I don't understand is to listen and to be willing to actually be curious and open and available to what I hear, because there's a difference between listening in the context of listening for something that I'm expecting, or listening with a sense of what the person is supposed to say, so I'm already kind of prepared for that, or listening in the context of, I used to do this all the time, by the way, listening with a very clear sense of what I'm going to say when they're done talking. That was my favorite. I already knew, I mean, I don't know if I already knew what I was going to say, but like they had said 2 words and I already had my answer. And then by that point, you know, I had stopped listening to anything else that was coming. I'm talking about listening where, and I literally, and it's, I teach a class, and when I do that, there's this exercise that I do where people are supposed to ask questions, and it goes around the room, and there's just like 16 people or more in this class. And one of the rules of the thing is that you can't, the question that you ask has to come from the moment that you ask the question. It can't be something that you thought of, you know, you're person 12, right? And you came up with a question around person 1, because what that means is that because there's a back and forth. So person 1 asks a question, the person that's being asked responds. And so conversation that's going on all the way around the room. And so if you're asking a question that you thought of at person 2, you haven't been listening that whole time. So you've kind of missed everything that's happened between then. And so so in the context exercise that I do, one of the things that I do when I'm listening to somebody, I'm actively jettisoning things off the plane. So I'll get really excited about something and realize that I've stopped listening. And so that goes out the window so I can listen to the next thing and listen to the next thing and listen to the next thing. And, you know, if somebody's going to talk straight for 45 minutes, I'm going to want to do the best that I can to actually hear everything that they say. And I don't know about you, but for me, it's really hard because I've been totally taught from a variety of experiences that I won't go into here because I don't want to take up a lot of your time, to have answers. And especially as a doctor, I'm a doctor. Might not look like a doctor, but I actually am a doctor. And so as a doctor, you know, there's this notion that doctors are experts and doctors have answers and doctors can tell you, And my experience, that's generally, the idea of having answers is way less helpful than actually listening to what people have to say and then learning, and then perhaps passing something on to them that I learned from somebody else by listening to them. And so this process of perpetual listening and perpetual accumulating knowledge, expert knowledge from people other than myself that I then pass on to folks that may or may not be helpful, seems to me, well, it's certainly something that I appreciate doing, and I appreciate the amazing things that I get to learn from people over and over. I mean, I have so many extraordinary experiences of conversations with people on a daily basis. Really appreciate that. However, it just continues to support this notion of really, really intentional, open, curious listening. And again, this idea of, you know, somebody's talking to me, if I'm stuck on something they've said and I'm no longer listening, there is another alternative to that. If I'm so captivated by something that somebody said, I will stop them and say, I'm totally distracted by something you just said, so that piece gets attended to, and then we can move on. But if it's just me thinking, oh, I've got this really great thing I could say right now that really has nothing to do with anything that they're talking about, that's what and then open, and then listening, and then listening. So anyway, something that you might try, just giving it a try. You don't have to let anybody know that you're doing it, but just an experiment, like to be really engaged in this kind of listening. And for me, you know, I talk about how it's about just being curious like a little kid who just saw a ball for the first time. And like every time you see the ball, it's like you saw it for the first time because you realize there's something new and different and interesting about it, and something that you didn't notice the last time. But anyway, something to think about for today. I hope everybody's having a great day. It's very, very warm here in the northeastern United States, but nothing's on fire, at least that I'm aware of. So that's a good thing. And we appreciate the warmth, and we appreciate, well, I am certainly grateful for whatever kind of weather we have to enjoy when it's gorgeous and beautiful like it is right now. So anyway, hope you're having a great day where you are, and I will be back tomorrow, and we'll see what's happening.